Hi, and welcome to a new flight report on my channel. Today I will fly with Finnair in business class on board their Airbus A320 from Helsinki to Düsseldorf. I want to explore their business class experience in Europe and want to find out what they offer on a 2-hour flight. And we can already say, not everything went as planned today. So follow me on my trip and enjoy my video. I just stepped up in Finnair Airbus A320, which took me to Helsinki-Vantaa airport. And despite the plane is parked at a jet bridge, I need to go with a bus to the terminal, as the bridge is only intended for non-Schengen connecting passengers, and I have my connection within the Schengen area. But I have no objection to a short bus ride across the apron. And after only 2 minutes, I find myself inside the terminal. My flight to Düsseldorf departs just in about an hour, so enough time to check out the Finnair lounge, which is included in my business ticket. This place is a large room with many seating options for dining, working, or relaxing. At the buffet, there are some more, as well as cold local or Asian dishes. And you also find some donuts for dessert. Here we have soft drinks, beer on tap, as well as a wine selection. But the coolest place for me is the window line with direct apron view. Here I make myself comfortable with a sweet snack and a coffee. Time always passes quickly in lounges, so now I have to get to gate 21 for my plane to Düsseldorf. And right here I am surprised, because it's not a Finnair aircraft waiting for me, but this Airbus A320 with a red nose, which does not belong to a Finnish airline. Sorry Finnair, but this is not what I booked. But complaining doesn't help, so I give it a chance and board the plane.
Good afternoon, hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you.
Here we are at my seat 3A. As you see, the seats in business class are the same as in economy, and there is no divider between both classes. At least the seat pitch is okay. To solve the mystery, the plane belongs to Danish Air Transport, or short D.A.T, who operates single flights for Finnair. While the Finnair A320s are about 21 years old, this one here has already 32 years on the hump, what you see here and there in the cabin. But the flight attendant in business class is very friendly. I get a small bottle of water and then the journey begins.
A very good afternoon, dear passengers from the flight deck. Passengers, my name is Danish, and I've got the pleasure on behalf of Finnair, today operated by D.A.T, and the whole crew to wish you a warm welcome aboard on our Airbus A320 this afternoon first bound for Düsseldorf.
The departure is nice. After passing the Finnish capital, we continue southward, across the many fjords to the Gulf of Finland and the Baltic Sea. Now let's take a closer look around my seat. Here we have a cup holder and an unspectacular tray table. In the seat pocket, there is a safety card of D.A.T, a Finnair sickness bag, and a Finnair menu. In addition to free water and blueberry juice, economy guests can order something from here. But for me as business guest, the service is free of charge and starts with a hot towel around 20 minutes after departure. Today I favored a delicious non-alcoholic beer, and yet comes the warm meal. That looks nice. Here we have roasted chicken in a dill sauce with carrots and pea puree, served with anchovies on an apple vinaigrette, as well as a bread roll. And here we have some blueberry juice, which is like the signature drink of Finnair. Not bad D.A.T, or Finnair, or I don't mind. I really enjoyed this meal, and that was not all. For dessert, a also very tasty cinnamon bun is served. Fantastic. The service today is rounded off with 2 pieces of chocolate and a cup of tea. Another 20 minutes later, the attentive flight attendant offered me a new round of drinks, while it gets a little bit uncomfortable over Sweden. What else remains to be done? Let's visit the washroom. This here is a standard A320 washroom with 2 different paper towels. It's clean, has a soap, and a baby changing table. Back at my seat, we already started our descent down into Düsseldorf, and I would like to share my conclusion of this flight with you. To be honest, I was really looking forward to try the Finnair business class in Europe. So I was a kind of disappointed that they changed the flight from Finnair to D.A.T. There might have been several reasons for this operator change, and maybe the alternative would have been a flight cancellation, and nobody wants that at all. But it would have been nice if Finnair would inform their passengers in advance about this change, so that they can prepare themselves. The D.A.T cabin was not worth to talk about. I am sure Finnair would have had presented me a younger and fresher cabin. But a very big plus point for me is that D.A.T has adapted and implemented the Finnair service on this flight very well. The flight attendant was very dedicated and friendly. No wishes remained unfulfilled here. And if you consider Lufthansa or other European carriers, having a hot towel and a warm meal plus a dessert is not usual on a 2-hour flight. So thumbs up for the Finnair service. And I will try Finnair again soon in business class on board their Airbus A320. So stay tuned for that. What's your opinion of today's flight? And did you ever had a plane change or an airline change? I am looking forward to your comment.
Dear passengers, welcome to Düsseldorf Airport. For your safety and comfort, we ask you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened and keep the airline emergency exit free from hand luggage until seatbelt sign will go off and plane comes to a complete stop. On behalf of Finnair, One World and D.A.T, thank you for choosing to fly with us. We wish you a nice evening. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Just landed in Düsseldorf. I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel to avoid to miss further flight reports and also explore the other flight reports on my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.